G'day scrappers, just off to do a random e-waste pickup. I seem to be getting a lot of these, but it's another deceased estate, so yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully we get to pick up a few nice interesting things, and yeah, normally I try not to do residential, but when they're deceased estates, this job was actually passed on to me from another recycler, because they're not interested in old stuff, they just want the modern stuff. So let's go out and do this and see what it looks like. Okay, I'm here. I didn't realise I had some junk still left over in the van. Okay. Make a start before they come out. G'day, Stacey.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So this isn't everything.
Okay.
But I've done my back doing all this.
Oh gosh.
Come on.
Hey, Trix.
Come in. And I've piled it all as close as I could
Okay.
to the front.
Yeah, that's fine.
Your good stuff's in this area.
Okay.
You did keep all that, and this is all still wrapped, but that's only a...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the floppy thing here.
And there's the two... Oh, there's the rest of the stuff under there.
Okay.
And I emptied as many boxes as possible, so that if they didn't have anything in it, I just emptied the box and threw it. And sometimes it just had like a little cord in it or something, and I tossed it.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
There's some stuff that's like...
Okay. It's like mystery items in boxes. Oh gosh. It's Sony. Looks like a lot of old vintage stuff. It's going to take a while. Okay. Well, I was certainly a tinkerer. Lots of little components. Goodness. I'm already puffed out. Well, guys, get in there. How's that? Wow. Oh yeah, this plane, American.
Yeah, that's cool.
Pan American, so Pan Am is, yeah.
And these trains.
Wow.
And
Oh,
I think there's
yeah.
a bit more to it in there, which I know they're worth a bit.
Holy dolly, what a interesting pickup. Wow. As you can see here, there's a Commodore 1084S monitor. There's a Commodore 1082 monitor. I don't think I've ever gotten a 1082. 1084, 1082, yeah. So they're interesting. And there's possibly a actual Commodore system. We couldn't find it. It's somewhere in the garage. But I do have a really nice piece, and even got a set of scales, just the regular kind of scales that I use. They're not really expensive, but yeah, apparently this guy was, you know, one of those electronic computer guys that was a tinkerer. And this was what was important for me, was the actual the Amiga power supply. I'm not sure if this is the one. There's another one in there, but there's a lot of little. Here's a A520 mod for the Amiga, so it's just you know, plugs into the back of the Amiga, obviously, and audio in, video out, RF out. So that's good. Yeah, some really good bits. And okay. Oh, that's really one thing that I was looking for. How's that? The Commodore 1351 mouse. Is it in there? Yay! Oh, it's in really nice condition. Almost, I don't think it's even been used. That's what I was really, oh yeah, it has been used. I can see some wear there, but in really good condition. And that's what I was hoping for, because I ended up actually giving the person some money for the Amiga system. Because it doesn't take much. They've already looked them up and seen that you know, they can sell for reasonably good money. I mean, it's not the Amiga 1000, but it's going to take me a full day to unload this van, because it's really important to when you if you ever do a pickup from a deceased estate and it's electronics, and especially retro vintage electronics, you really want to go through everything to just in case, even cables, just to make sure, because sometimes they may not be highly valuable, but they might be really hard to find. And here's the beautiful Amiga 500. How's that? It does have a floppy, so it might be, yeah, the floppy's a bit that won't come out, but it's in really good condition. It's not broken, and I'm just hoping that it works. I mean, yeah, I couldn't not give them a little bit of money, because like I said, they know what this sort of stuff, you know, that it could be, you know, has got some value. And I just took a gamble, and yeah, there you go. I wish it was the Amiga 1000. I've already got one, but could really use parts. But so a very unusual pickup, because it's a lot of vintage stuff, and I thought, I'm going to do the right thing by him. I gave him a couple $100, you know, so just for the Amiga really, and the fact that there's 2 Commodore monitors, but it's the 1802 that I really don't have, and it's certainly going to go nice in my collection. But it's the 184S, and it's in pretty good condition too, so hopefully it works. So yeah, very unusual that I do a residential pickup and give them money, because it's usually just hit and miss. So there we go. That would go with that. But if there wasn't a power supply for this Amiga, I probably wouldn't have. I would have only paid half that, because the power supply costs about 60, 70 bucks with shipping if I had to find one. So that's awesome. All right, well, I'm just going to slowly, I can't just unload and just throw everything around. I want to keep it all, there's a lot of boxes I've got to deal with, and I just want to go through each box and just make sure that I'm not going to accidentally scrap the wrong thing. Yeah, so yeah, pretty awesome pickup. And yeah, I wasn't expecting this mouse. I thought, oh no, but you know, even in the original box. So really happy with that mouse, because even that mouse, like if you really, you know, had to buy one, you know, you're still going to pay 40 or 50 bucks with postage. So all right, well, let me slowly take this away. I probably paid too much technically, but then again, maybe not, because the Amiga, if it's in good working order, can sell for $4.55. You know, I've seen some sell for cheaper, but yeah, it's got other accessories as well. Like this, it's in they've wrapped it in plastic years ago. It's all covered in dust, so at least they wrapped it in plastic. But that's the Commodore 1541 disk drive. Okay, these aren't super valuable, but they're still good to, you know, as part of the collection. And there's also another disk drive still in box. It's not brand new, but it's been put back, so we'll get to it anyway. So let me make a start and get some of what I know I can just scrap out. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see if there's any oddball things. There are about 5 or 6 or 7 maybe PCs that they look like they're partially scrapped. Here's my scales that I use, but it's very much the same brand. They only sell for about 40-50 bucks. All right, leave it with me, and what I thought I'd do is maybe just have a little bit of fun, stretch the video out, and just go through some of the boxes, and hopefully we find a few treasures that we didn't expect. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But how's that, a full chock-a-block full load? What's that? A little bit of stereo equipment, but thankfully there were no I didn't have to deal with any speakers. And there's another monitor down there, not sure what that is, but that might be good too. And yeah, I mean, there's my scales. It's just the TCS model. I think they weigh maximum, well, this one's only 150 kilo max. My one that I buy for 45 bucks on eBay are 300 kilo max, but it looks like a nice one, and it's in really nice condition. So awesome. Yeah, I just want to get out these monitors. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I'm really happy with the 1802 Commodore, and it looks beautiful, like in really nice condition. You know me, I like my vintage or retro stuff, if you like. And this one, oh yeah, it's also a 1084S. just a different version. It's missing this cover. Don't know if this one's going to work, but maybe. Even got some USB drives stuck here. Don't know what they're for. Maybe Bitcoin. And I don't know if these are just boxes. Yeah, it's pretty much just. So I didn't even look in these. So I just throw this. Hopefully there might be. Nah, they're just. It's just empty motherboard boxes. Empty RAM. By the looks of it. Yep. Just empty, just packaging. That happens. But yeah, I think I did all right, you know, and I'm just going to have fun because, as you know, this is my kind of stuff to play around with. And yeah, we might just there's a couple of stereos that we might you know, do okay with. Awesome. All right, let me get to it. Okay, well, I'm too tired to unload any more of the van. I've done half the van. Lots of boxes, so many boxes of all kinds of stuff that the guys hoarded, and he's obviously an electronics tinkerer. He liked his stuff. Apparently this was his original game that he bought back in the the 90s, I suppose. Yeah, so there we go. So we got the Amiga 500. How's that? Yeah, not a bad one. It's not perfect because the floppy doesn't eject properly. So, I mean, you can get it out. It comes out. At least it sort of disengages. It just doesn't pop out. I'd imagine that might be some kind of boot drive or whatever's in there. It's actually unlabeled. But overall it's very clean. Everything's there. It looks yeah, pretty sharp, not bad. You know, I haven't looked to see if there's like an expansion memory card, but there are a few little bits and pieces that might be that you might be able to actually connect. I'm not really sure what, but yeah, there's a couple of really oddball pieces. I just can't find them right now. But yeah, what a collection, hey, for one pickup. Pretty amazing. And these two things here are just disk drives. So these are the 5 1/4 disk drive. What does that say? B bar graph ziggurat. I don't know. I'll just leave it in there for now. It might be something. At least that works. Yeah. So this is the Commodore 1541 disk drive, and well, it must be in good working order because he wouldn't have wrapped it in bloody plastic. And here is the what was that, 1541? That's the 1571. Well, it's original box, but it's not brand new. So this is for use with the Commodore 128, compatible with all Commodore home computers. So it might also be compatible with the Commodore Amiga. They, you know, the people did mention that they, her husband mentioned that there was a Commodore 128 in the garage, but we tried to find it. It's there's so much stuff in there, we just couldn't get in there. So just make sure. Yeah, sure enough. Okay. Oh well, there we go. Disk drive. It's actually in quite good condition as well. And original packing material. That's got to be worth an extra $5. But this will no doubt, obviously, like you know, I enjoy this sort of stuff. So, oh gosh, how do I put this back together? Yeah, because I like my vintage or retro gaming stuff. This will just all go to, you know, in my collection. Yeah, so these disk drives aren't really super valuable or anything, but you still kind of want them if you're going for the Commodore collection. So yeah, I'll take them. And as you've seen already, the Commodore mouse, it's actually in very, very nice condition. So, and yeah, user's guide. I didn't notice any manuals for this. I don't imagine there would be manuals if there's no box for it. And then the monitors. Gosh, so much. So we've got this one looks like the one they probably use the most, the 1084S, in really nice, pretty nice clean condition. Does have these crappy stickers on them, but and this one here, it's also the 1084S, but that's Commodore. So this it's same model, but probably just a little bit earlier. It's also the Commodore. Yeah, oh, it's actually S/P. Yeah. Still got the cable sticking out, so plugged in. So, oh yeah. Yeah, this looks, it's actually in really nice condition as well. So I'm happy with that. But this one here is, don't know if you saw me other hoarders pick up, where I did pick up about 4 of these 108S's. I think might be both versions, but this one I haven't had before. That's the 1802, and again seems to be in nice condition. It looks like a bit more modern with the handle. Still got the cable sticking out, so it's almost like just it's got the cord, yeah, but it's almost like they just unplugged it and just put it away, and that's it. December 1987 this was manufactured, so that seems quite early. 1987. I might have to look them up and see, compare it with the other ones. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. And then there's also a box that apparently was where the Amiga was in, and so gosh, it's hard to believe that this Commodore power supply, I mean, it's a huge power supply, really heavy, and yeah, I'm not sure if this one is for the Amiga or not. Yeah, it might be. So awesome, you know, that's a really important thing, and same as the mouse. If you don't have a power supply, you know, it's nice to have an original one. It's really hard to test things. Yeah, this is definitely the Amiga one, because I can see the little logo here. It's like a C/ and it's the same logo here, C with 2 slashes. But there is another power supply. So I'm wondering, this might be, okay. So this is the Commodore 128. Well, so no doubt they did say that if they find it, they'll call me. So yeah, I'm actually glad I've got this power supply, and it's without it, their Commodore 128 is probably not much use, because I reckon these aren't very easy to get. There might be an aftermarket version, but yeah, I think that's a good one to have. And I don't believe I've got a Commodore 128. I've got Commodore 164s. So, but you never know your luck in the future. And these look like, well, They're not like original Amiga, but they, no doubt they would be for one of them. Might be for the Amiga, but it might also be for the Commodore 128. So, you know, joysticks are also good to have. I do like my joysticks, even if, as long as they're vintage joysticks, it doesn't bother me whether I've got the actual the machine or not. So all these cables would be part of the Commodore and Amiga system. This is just a couple of cheap speakers. Yeah, pretty oh, what's that? Pretty nice collection here. Okay, so this is a floppy drive. What does it say? Man's Beacon typing. So it might be just a typing program, this. But a nice little retro floppy drive. It's about 8 inches long. Yeah, I'll have to look this up. It's the old plug. So that would probably even fit into this Amiga and other things, no doubt. Other vintage gaming of that era. Okay. Well, this is getting nice because you know, like I said, I pick up a lot of these Commodore monitors for some reason. When I'd done that other hoarder's house, there were so many of them, and I've packed them away, and even before that. And so this one's not actually, it's, you know, missing this little door, and who knows, and unusual that it's got a couple of USB things just hanging there. So yeah, that might have, obviously the USB ports have got nothing to do with these systems. It would have been yeah, they must have had a vintage PC Amiga setup or Commodore setup, and then their current, who knows what's on those USBs. Sometimes I don't want to look because no doubt someone will say, oh, Bitcoin. Okay, I don't know what these are. Pocket modem. Tiny little old school modem. This is when, you know, you dialed up and it was ee-oo-wee. Oh, there's another key mouse. Oh, that's great. You can't get enough. Trust me, I do know about the mice because I've looked into them once before. Yep. Oh yeah, and that's actually an original Commodore mouse. What was the other one? Was that original Commodore? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's also, yep, slightly different. Yeah, this is model 1351, and this one, it looks like here an older version. Yeah, slightly different, and that's heavier. Yeah. Wow, I'll put that in there. So 2 versions of this kind of mouse, and like I said, you know, it costs about $50 to get a mouse by the time you get it posted, if not more, for the Commodore. But that's a nice little kit. And the rest, yeah, this is all, it looks like just modem stuff. Here's a nice cable. These cables, yeah, look out, yeah, this is an Amiga, original Amiga cable. Holly Hand Enterprises, Amiga. So yeah, it's definitely original Amiga. Not sure what this would have been for. And this all looks like modem stuff. So that's cool. And what else is in here? Okay, Amiga. Oh yeah, we looked at that before. Commodore A520 mod. So I don't know what this mod is for, but I'm glad I got it. Okay, so cool. And what's in this bag? It's just the audio cable. Right. Just old headphones with these handset. Oh, these are our old airline. So this was what you must have gotten on the aeroplane back in the day. And show me some originality. Just old school serial mice. But yeah, very old school. 3-button mice. Nice, in pretty decent condition, I tell you. So I'm really happy with that too. This will all go part of my stockpile. Some crappy headphones, could throw them. Plug. More mice, but old school. Microsoft. This one's busted up. Old school Microsoft. Nice one. Microsoft again, contoured. And this one, it's one of those, you know, shiny plastic contoured mice. Bunch of cables. This box is a, it's just like an isolator. 1996. Quite weird, but I'd keep it because someone will know what to do with it. And just more cable. All right. Well, there we go. Put all this back. The only thing I didn't want to drop was that Commodore mod. And looks like it just plugs straight into the back of the Amiga. That's cool. I love my little joysticks, vintage or old school retro joysticks. You don't know if you can call it vintage because vintage needs to be 50 years old, I think. And my floppy. And yeah, and there was also, these came out of another box. Anco. Oh, how's that? These are really interesting joysticks, and yeah, not very often you find them still nicely operatable. They've got a lot of switches and buttons, black buttons, so that might have been, you know, like shoot and so on. You also got sliding things here that work. Nice. And then on the bottom, you got all these little settings. You can click it over for different settings for whatever that is, and then there's this little thing. Okay, IBM. Oh, okay. You flick it over to IBM PC or Apple II. So depending on what, so they're a universal, you know, would have been like an aftermarket universal joysticks. And there's a couple of them as well. And I like when they not only, you know, obviously they're going to come with a cable, but there's also an attachment here. So different, this is like a, you know, different kinds of attachments. So this is what, 2, 4, 9 pin, and this is about 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 or so pin. So I like when they got these little extra things, because sometimes you got the, oh, and there's also a really nice plug here. It's got gold pins, and but sometimes you'll get, you know, you'll find an old joystick like that with the, you know, obviously as is, but you won't get the extra little things, you know, and always the case. Oh, but we need this adapter, and then you end up going to pay $30 just to get a silly little adapter. We'll keep them together. How's that? So far, a really nice little collection. Don't know what this is for. Really nice gold pins on them, but it's only very short. Who knows? But Commodore 128. Well, at least I got the power supply, so if they ring me and said, oh, we found the 128, hey, well, I'll say great, because I just so happen to have the power supply for it that you gave me. And yeah, and so this is the power supply for this bugger here. Awesome, fantastic. And like I said, you know, without the, you know, you can't test them without a nice original power supply. So I'm going to sort of pack this away and deal with it another day, along with all my other gaming stuff. One day, you know, I'm going to give you a bit of a look at my vintage and retro gaming stuff, and or just retro, and yeah, might be a bit of fun to go through it all. And then one day in retirement, as well as my gold recovery, I'm going to try and get all these running and have a bit of fun with it, and then just work out what to do with them. But yeah, I'm just getting a few too many of these monitors. This one's straight in the collection. This is straight in the pool room. This one, but this one's not bad, and you know, like it says on the sticker, don't worry, we'll clean it up. Well, yeah, and I'm just a bit too tired to finish off emptying the van. There's just so many boxes, so I'm going to have to do the rest tomorrow. This looks like it's an old telephone, but it's not a automatic. It's a repertory telephone dialer. There's no actual like handset. It's just you dial, and like a hands-free phone, I suppose. But this looks like a calculator. So when you're putting in numbers, maybe the number actually comes up, because it's not like vintage or anything. Well, it is quite old school, but yeah, I'm not sure whether to. Okay, oh, this power supply is absolute cactus. It's all busted up, so I don't want to plug it in. It does have an adapter which is all bent, you know. Yeah, I don't really want to plug it in yet. I'll wait till you know, I get one of my electrical mates come over. And this looks like, okay, yep, it's the old school extension or something. That's a good little cord, that. But yeah, I was going to plug it in, but this would have to be you know, done by someone that, you know, like, all this plastic is all cracked, and you know, I don't want to blow up my fuse box or something, but it's a very unusual thing and I like it, so I'm even going to keep that. And yeah, there's just so much. I only took out one PC, and it looked like he was kind of restoring PCs or building together PCs, because he did have a lot of quite late model boxes of CPU boxes, but they're all empty. So I'm assuming he's just he's been upgrading, yeah, like not building, but just pulling out old CPUs and putting, like, I've seen i7 boxes, so I'm not sure where they are, but maybe they're somewhere in here, or maybe they're in the PC still in the van. But there's just so many different oddball electrical things, and you might have seen a little clip in another room there where the lady was showing me things that she needs to do some research on. She had a lot of scales, a lot of antique-y things. Some were really good, and I advised her not to you know, just send them to an auction house. I said, you know, try and get someone that really knows what they're talking about, and someone that's honest, and to give her a real good idea, because she had some real nice pieces, you know. And so, you know, that was the only advice I could give her, was, hey, you know, don't just assume someone's going to say, oh, it's worth $50. Oh yeah, you can have it. You know, I said to her, you know, because like I said, I did pay. I paid based on this, but when I sort of told her, you know, that I'd give her some money, she did say that, you know, we got the Commodore 128, and so I was hoping for that, but I probably paid a little bit more, because you know, I don't know if it's working, and because the floppy thing isn't working, it's not perfect, but I'm sure that someone that knows what they're doing can adjust the spring or something and get this to pop out properly. I can still take it out, it just doesn't come out all the way where you can just easily do it, and the mechanism still works. But yeah, I don't know, you know, I mean, I don't normally, when I do like deceased estates, I certainly don't normally pay for things unless I see something unusually valuable. A lot of the stuff it's just cable and all kinds of knickknacks, but I'm assuming there's going to be a few good pieces. Yeah, these things, these are new. Look, UVA safe black light bulbs, they glow in the dark. So if you wear white t-shirts and fluorescent paint will glow in the dark, and they fit Australian households regular. So pretty awesome. fubu.com.au. So, well, this one looks like it's been opened, but this one's still sealed, and they might be a bit of fun, you know, when you have a party, you surprise people with things. But yeah, it looks like he just hoarded everything, whatever he ever got, he never threw it away. It's one of those sort of guys, but he wasn't like a serious hoarder. Like, don't know if any of yous remember that video where the whole house was chock-a-block full of everything. But see here, this is a brand new motherboard that he was probably trying to restore. It's got one 4 gig stick, doesn't have the CPU, but it's a modern style CPU, could have been i3 or so, and it's just got so many amazing things. What's that video, mate? Oh, it's a tuner card. Oh, it's just a tuner card. And he does have, apparently he was right into like videos and copying videos, so he's got a lot of these hard drive docks. This one's not in great condition, but there are a lot of hard drive docks. I want to show you, hang on. Old school double cassette deck. It's not a really high-end one or anything. It's I've never heard of Fisher. It's a Fisher model. At least it's a dual cassette deck. It's got an equalizer, but I've got some real nice ones, a Sony, and some real heavy ones. Usually with this sort of stuff I go by the weight. If it doesn't weigh much, it usually suggests that it wasn't an expensive one. But hang on. So you got a lot of these. There's probably 7 or 8 of these docks, Orico docks. They're 3.5 inch and 2.5 inch hard drive docks. So yeah, like I said, he was copying a lot of videos. I think like movies and that might have been his, you know, one of his hobbies. So no doubt the hard drives all have probably just movies and yeah, Bitcoin. Gosh, and this is only half the van. I don't know where to start with there. I was going to go through a lot of this, but the video would just, I'm too tired anyway, and it's getting late. But all sorts of cable and that. And as I was trying to say really earlier, is when you get stuff like this, you don't want to just start processing unless you know exactly what it is. Yeah, you want to go through, and it looks like, you know, this is all phone stuff by the looks of it, but you want to be careful on what you're processing. If you're processing cable and stuff, you just want to make sure that you're processing exactly what you know is not worth anything, because sometimes a power adapter can be really sought after and really hard to get. It may not be valuable, but it's just, and this is all, what is it, 8mm film. Okay, so who knows what's on these 8mm film, but as you know, stuff like this, I get people occasionally asking me for stuff like this. Like this is dated 1971, and some people have 8mm cameras or projectors or whatever, and they want film like this. And so if they ever ask me, say yeah, I just so happen to have some. All right, but I'm really stoked with my Amiga accessories there. My Amiga 500. Like I said, it's not the Amiga 1000, but yeah, I got one of them inside too. And really happy with this Commodore monitor. 2 others here. I've already got quite a few, so I'll have to deal with them. And yeah, hang on, one more thing. So these things showed me that instantly that he was an electronics tinkerer, because he's got all these kind of little plugs and knickknacks. Oh, how's this? So all your little jacks, all kinds of things. Some, you know, it's a sort of thing that here's a nice, reasonably nice gold-plated one. Even wall clips, but you know, it's not something I would ever use. But someone that's into this, might be video, audio stuff, you know, I just give it to them. Why not? If someone can use it, that's all we kind of want. But yeah, what's that? Amplified splitter. Looks like quite old school. So it's a mix of things going back to the 70s right up to almost the current day. Oh, and here's another thing. What's a tens machine? Pulse rate and tens machine. It's something medical. It's something where you, I don't know, heart rate kind of thing. I'm not sure. I've never heard of a tens machine, but if there's any doctors out there, and I do have a couple of doctor friends that that might be watching, so let me know what's a tens machine, and is it too freaky for me to handle? Yeah, what else did I find? Yeah, here's another interesting thing. Don't know if anyone would know. It's the brand is Amphenol. I don't know what this card is, but it looks quite freaky. It says Dreambox, red, 3.5 megahertz, Phoenix. It's got so many things. I don't know what this card is. It looks like some sort of card slots into there. It's just freaky, but it looks quite old, and it's Phoenix programmer. So it might be something that you can customize. Don't know, but I thought that was interesting. I might do a part 2, just depends on what I'm pulling out, and get rid of this, and part 2 might be just going through the boxes, and maybe we find some interesting things, some treasures, who knows. So if you see a link to at the end of this video to part 2, check it out, but most likely I'll just end it here. We'll see how I go tomorrow. All right, well, that's me for the day. A really interesting pickup, really oddball. Yeah, so like I said, check out the update video if I do one. If not, hope that was a bit of interesting, and yeah, and obviously don't contact me for this Amiga 500, because it's going in my personal collection, same as this monitor and all that stuff in there. And yeah, keep scrapping, have fun, and I catch you next time.